Hey folks, how's it going? Fields of Mistria got its third major update. I've been playing it a little bit, and I've gathered some information. Now, was I a little bit overzealous in the amount of stuff that I thought we were gonna get when I did my speculation video? Maybe. However, we did still get some cool stuff, and I would like to go over them today. Now, it's important to note what I will and won't be going over in this video, because I'm not going to be covering the fun extra mechanic stuff, like the new cooking minigame, and I'm not going to be covering the new heart events and dating mechanic stuff, because that's just not the kind of stuff that I cover here. But what we will be looking at is the new perks that we got, specifically relating to cooking, farming, processing, that kind of thing, as well as the new upgrades that we got to things that we can use to upgrade our farm. Things like the storage upgrades, and most importantly, the greenhouse. And of course, how to get them and how expensive they are to use, because that is important. You'll see later. So let's look at what's new in this update, starting with the two new main quests. We have two new main quests in this update. One to upgrade the Saturday Market, which adds the two new vendors. We'll get into one of them in a second. And the other one to upgrade the Carpenter Shop, which adds the ability to upgrade your house for a fourth time, and the ability to make small and large greenhouses. So I'm not going to go into the story stuff for the Saturday Market for spoiler reasons, but I will go into what they want you to donate to the donation box to upgrade the Saturday Market. They want 20 crystals, 8 gold ingots, 100 hardwood, 20 obsidian, and 50 refined stone. Now, all of these things can be grinded except for refined stone, but for our case, as we are all rolling in hundreds and thousands of treasure, or whatever they call it, we're just gonna buy this outright. So for the crystals, it's 3,500 to refine all of the required stone into crystals. It's 16,600 for the 8 gold ingots, assuming you have the blacksmithing perk that makes it slightly cheaper to make a gold ingot, 9 nuggets instead of 8, or instead of 10. 100 hardwood will cost us 21,500. 3,500 again for obsidian, as it is made in the exact same way as crystals, requires the exact same amount of resources. And then 11,100 for the refined stone, bringing us to the total of 56,200 tesserae. I think that's the way to say it, tesserae. To just completely bypass all the grinding of the Saturday Market and just buy it outright. Now, when completing the Saturday Market, it gives you 2 new people who appear during the Saturday Market. One of them is a high-class chef that has a weekly chef challenge where you create a recipe and you can earn gold and renown from it. But second is a merchant who gives a lot of odds and ends, a lot of interesting customizations that I think are, he's supposed to be like a phony goods dealer. However, the one thing that he gives you that is not phony is access to extra large chests, which is where I would like to now talk about the new changes to storage. So we have 3 sizes of chest now. Normal, which is what we had before, which was a 5x6 grid of slots, 30 slots. The large, which is now the stone chests and the other custom chests that we had before this update. Those are a 7x6 grid, giving us 42 slots. And now extra large, which this guy sells extra large chests, will give you a 9x6 area of slots, or 54 slots, which is nice. It's getting close to double what a normal chest gives. This is cool. However, the next upgrade that we do for the town is significantly more important. So after you upgrade the Saturday Market, you will immediately unlock the quest for the Carpenter Shop upgrade, assuming you have the right town renown. Carpenter Shop upgrade costs us 30 crystals, 100 glass, 30 obsidian, and 100 refined stone. Now, just like before, these things can be grinded, but we're just gonna buy them outright. Now, buying these outright will cost us 5,250 for the crystals, as well as 5,250 for the obsidian, as they cost the same. 8,000 to just outright buy 100 glass, and then 22,200 to outright buy 100 refined stone, which costs us a total of 40,700. This carpentry shop upgrade gives us access to greenhouses. And now I want to talk about greenhouses, because greenhouses are incredibly powerful, but they have some very weird things going on with them that you should be aware of. I'm going to change my angle here. I'm getting tired of this seating way. There we go. Put my leg down. So, we have small and large greenhouses. A small greenhouse takes up a 3x6 area on your farm and holds within it a 5x5 area to plant on. How much does this cost? Well, a blueprint for a small greenhouse is 50,000 tesserae, and then it is an additional 10,340 tesserae to actually buy all the materials, bringing our total to 60,340 for 25 spaces of any season plantable area. So that's not fantastic. I wouldn't recommend going for the small greenhouse. I would recommend going for the large greenhouse, but it might break the bank a little bit. All right, so the large greenhouse takes up a 4x7 footprint on your farm and gives you a 10x10 space to plant on, or 100 spaces that will never be disturbed, that you can place a multi-grow crop on, and you never have to worry about rebuying that seed ever again, or that initial growth time ever again. This is something that is going to make the best crops in the game even more the best crops in the game, which kind of goes against something that I said in my initial video for this major update, where I was kind of hoping they were going to buff single harvest crops. They didn't. They buffed multi-harvest crops, which were already undoubtedly the best in the game. Anyways, this does come at a cost, all right? It costs 100,000 tesserae to buy the blueprint to make a large greenhouse. And then it costs an additional 20,680 material to actually make it, which gives us a grand total of 120,680 tesserae required to set up any given greenhouse, which might sound like a lot, but do not underestimate the power of these greenhouses, all right? There's a reason that in other games you get one greenhouse, and it's because the ability to make multiple greenhouses completely usurps the need for a best crop in every season. There doesn't need to be, because now there is a best crop in the game, and it is wheat now, undoubtedly. Because one of wheat's biggest problems was that, unlike other crops in the game, it has a 9-day initial growth period, and then it has the same regrowth period after that point. But because you do not have to replant it anymore, that does not really matter. In fact, if you literally just fill a large greenhouse with wheat, in 33 days, it will have paid itself back. And then from that point on, you will be making 7,315 gold per day from those 28 tiles that greenhouse takes up. How much is that per tile? Yeah, that is 261.25 tesserae per tile per day, by the way. Greenhouses are just as broken as I thought they would be. There is no surprise, but I think they're balanced. I think they're balanced because making it so that you have to spend 120,000 just to place down one of these greenhouses means that unless you are absolutely no lifing the game, you will not have that many greenhouses. And if you have no life the game, not being able to have a greenhouse would not have stopped you from breaking the game like this, right? Now, the greenhouses do have a couple weird bits, and you will want to know about them. They're really strange, and most of them have to do with how they act with sprinklers. Hey folks, Editing Maxim here. The stuff that I was going to talk about in this segment referred to the weird sprinkler jank that was prevalent during the first days of this update. However, in the time that it took me to record and edit this video, they have been patched. So right up here, water statues and greenhouses now work as intended if the player leaves while they are activated, and or if it is raining or snowing. This essentially means is that these will activate even if you aren't there, and will activate during rain or snow. Both of these were problems during the initial launch of this update, but it seems that they have been corrected. So this is no longer a problem. Yay! That's really good. All right, back to the rest of the video. All right, so we've gone over the main things, but we still have to talk about perks. Now, in the discussion video that I did for the third major update of Fields of Mistria, I was really confident that we were gonna get like 4 to 5 perks for every single perk category. We barely got any skill perks in this update. I was really surprised. I feel like the last couple we've got a lot of skill perks. There are some that just did not get any. There are some categories that did not get any skill perks. Ranching didn't, despite the fact I was like 100% confident that we were gonna get at least something in ranching. No. So what we got that works for us as the people who are farming really comes down to 2 perks for farming and 1 perk for cooking. So new cooking perk for the new tier is fairy cooking, and fairy cooking gives you a chance for a cooked product to be imbued with, I think it's like the fairy fairy effect. Essentially what it is like a fairy in a bottle from Zelda, where it will bring you back from death if you die, right? That's pretty cool. That doesn't help us, and I don't think is entirely necessary because the combat in this game is kind of a joke. However, if at some point, maybe in the next final like part of the mines, combat does become difficult, that'll be helpful. Now, as for the farming upgrades, we got Magic Design, which is a perk that gives us access to the Giant Essence Stone, which will power something for 40 days. This is nice. It is really nice because it's a great set it and forget it. Like, I don't ever want to come back to this sprinkler. I just want it to run for 40 days. That's almost 2 seasons. That's really nice. The other thing that we got is the perk Earthly Essence, which gives us access to magic seeds that produce magic plants. What does the magic plant drop? Cosmetics. The magic plant drops cosmetics for different crops in the game. Notable with all of these perks, none of them are actually going to increase the amount of money that we make on anything, so they're largely pointless for us in our very specific niche case. Yeah, that's okay. I think we got enough with greenhouses. I think greenhouse does it for us. But yeah, that's it. I will have a video coming out on Fields of Mistria probably, like I said, in like a week or 2. That's more of a deeper dive into exploring the depths of this update, seeing like how intense I can get my farm to be with the ability to now place on mass greenhouses. But that's it for me. Let me know if there's anything that you are particularly excited about this update. Maybe it's a character getting their cool 8 cutscene, that you really like their 8 heart cutscene. Maybe you're really excited about the cooking challenge guy. Or I didn't even look into fishing got a new perk. I don't even know what it is because the perks haven't been updated anywhere. So the only ones that I know what they do are the ones that I've gotten, and that is not one of the ones that I got. So let me know down in the comments, and I will be back with more fun Fields of Mistria stuff. Until then, see ya.